Have you ever woken up in the morning, checked your glucose monitor, and found your blood sugar higher than it was the night before, even though you didn't eat anything bad before bed? That confusing moment can feel frustrating, even scary. But pause for a second, because what I'm about to share could completely change the way you think about type 2 diabetes. This isn't a quick hack or empty promise. It's real science, proven mechanisms, and specific foods you can start eating today to begin reversing insulin resistance. Imagine this. By simply changing what goes on your plate, you could help your body function like the powerful, healthy machine it was designed to be. How different would your life look? First, let's get clear on the root cause. The problem isn't sugar. It isn't fruit. It isn't carbs. The real issue lies inside your cells. Insulin, the key that unlocks the door for glucose to enter, has stopped working properly. When fat builds up inside your liver and muscle cells, that lock gets jammed. The key no longer fits. Glucose can't get in, and instead, it backs up in your bloodstream. That's why your blood sugar rises, especially overnight. And here's the surprising part. Your weight might not even change, but hidden fat inside your organs is quietly driving insulin resistance. So the solution is simple, but powerful. Clear out that fat clog. And the most effective way to do it is through food. Food number 1, leafy greens and non-starchy vegetables. Picture starting every meal with a plate of fresh spinach, kale, arugula, bok choy, or cabbage. These greens don't just slow down glucose absorption, they actively improve insulin sensitivity over time. The soluble fiber forms a gel in your stomach, acting like a speed bump that slows glucose before it hits your bloodstream. Studies show that eating greens before carbs can flatten your entire post-meal glucose curve, even in people with type 2 diabetes. And long-term, greens reduce inflammation, support mitochondrial function, and help clear fat out of your cells. They're essentially anti-diabetes medicine disguised as food. Try adding spinach to your breakfast bowl, starting lunch with a quick salad, or filling half your dinner plate with steamed greens. Small habits like this can transform the way your body handles glucose. Food number 2, legumes, lentils, chickpeas, black beans, kidney beans. These humble foods are metabolic gold. They don't just flatten your blood sugar during the meal. They keep working hours later, thanks to something called the second meal effect. Eat beans at lunch, and your dinner glucose response improves, even if dinner doesn't include beans. That's because the resistant starch and soluble fiber in legumes ferment in your gut, producing short-chain fatty acids that travel to your liver and muscles, making them more responsive to insulin. Legumes are naturally low in fat, high in fiber, and help clear out the fat clogging your cells. That's why traditional cultures with legume-heavy diets had extremely low rates of diabetes. If beans spike your glucose right now, don't blame the beans. It's simply insulin resistance revealing itself. As you lower dietary fat overall, those spikes shrink, and beans become one of the most stabilizing foods you can eat. Add them daily to soups, salads, stews, or bowls, and you'll feel the difference quickly. Food number 3, whole grains and high-fiber starches. Brown rice, barley, millet, quinoa, buckwheat foods many people fear because they contain carbs. But controlled trials prove the opposite of what the internet tells you. Eating whole grains significantly improves insulin sensitivity, even without weight loss. Whole grains digest slowly, are packed with fiber, and are naturally low in fat as long as they're not drowned in oil or butter. The problem isn't carbs. It's the fat that often comes with them. A bowl of brown rice with beans and vegetables is a completely different metabolic story than white rice with fried meat. Whole grains keep you full, provide steady energy, and retrain your body to use glucose efficiently. Start your day with oatmeal topped with fruit, or swap white rice for quinoa at dinner. These small changes add up to big improvements. Food number 4, starchy vegetables and clean carb roots. Sweet potatoes, squash, beets, corn. These are some of the cleanest carbohydrate sources on the planet, yet they're often misunderstood. When you're insulin resistant, eating a potato might spike your glucose, and you assume carbs are the problem. But the truth is, starchy vegetables aren't causing the spike, they're exposing the underlying issue. They're high in water, high in fiber, and naturally low in fat. A medium sweet potato is 77% water, contains 4 grams of fiber, and virtually no fat. That makes it the opposite of what drives insulin resistance. Plus, they're loaded with antioxidants and nutrients that improve insulin action. Beta-carotene in sweet potatoes, nitrates in beets, carotenoids in squash. Populations that traditionally ate these foods, like the Okinawans, whose diet was nearly 70% sweet potato, had some of the lowest diabetes rates ever recorded. If starchy vegetables spike you today, it's not because they're harmful, it's because your cells are clogged. As you lower saturated fat and clear out intracellular fat, these same foods become stabilizing, predictable, and healing. Try roasted sweet potatoes, steamed squash, or beet salads. You'll notice the shift as your body heals. Food number 5. Fruit, your metabolic ally. Fruit is one of the most misunderstood foods for people living with diabetes. Many fear it because it contains sugar, but large population studies show the opposite. More fruit, lower diabetes risk. Blueberries, apples, grapes, all linked to reduced type 2 diabetes incidence. And here's the kicker. Restricting fruit doesn't improve blood sugar. A randomized trial found that people eating more fruit had the same outcomes as those eating less, no difference in A1C, fasting glucose, or weight. Fruit isn't just sugar. It's fiber, water, antioxidants, vitamin C, and phytonutrients that improve insulin signaling. When eaten in a low-fat, whole food diet, fruit becomes one of the most stable, predictable, and glucose-friendly foods you can eat. If fruit spikes you now, it's simply a sign of insulin resistance. As you lower fat and increase fiber, fruit transforms into a powerful ally. Add berries to breakfast, enjoy apples as snacks, or finish dinner with fresh mango. Fruit is not the enemy, it's part of the solution. By now, you can see the bigger picture. Leafy greens, legumes, whole grains, starchy vegetables, and fruit form a powerful combination. Together, they lower saturated fat, increase fiber, reduce inflammation, clear fat from your cells, and restore insulin sensitivity. The result? Lower fasting glucose, flatter post-meal numbers, healthier liver, and steady energy. This isn't theory, it's proven science. And the best part? You can start today with simple, affordable foods that are available everywhere. Now imagine a full day of eating, designed to help your body reverse insulin resistance. Breakfast could be a warm bowl of quinoa, topped with banana, berries, a sprinkle of cinnamon, and ground flaxseed. It's delicious, energizing, and packed with fiber to keep your blood sugar steady from the start. At lunch, picture a giant salad of spinach and arugula, loaded with chickpeas, millet or brown rice, steamed vegetables, and a light lemon vinegar dressing with no oil. For an afternoon snack, keep it simple, with crisp apples or juicy oranges. Dinner might be baked sweet potatoes, steamed greens, hearty black beans, and roasted vegetables, followed by fresh mango or strawberries for dessert. This isn't a restrictive diet, it's a vibrant, satisfying way of eating that doubles as natural medicine for your metabolism. Here's the key. None of these foods cause type 2 diabetes. In fact, they're the very tools your body needs to heal. When you cut back on saturated fat, remove excess oils, and load up on fiber-rich whole foods, your cells begin to clear out the fat, clogging them. Insulin starts working again. Glucose flows into your cells, and blood sugar stabilizes. This is biology, not guesswork. And the best part? You don't have to wait years to see results. Many people notice changes in just days or weeks. It's time to stop fearing carbs. Clean carbohydrates from vegetables, whole grains, legumes, and fruit are the fuel your body was designed to run on. The real problem is when carbs are paired with heavy saturated fat like fries soaked in oil or white rice with fatty fried meat. Separate carbs from the fat, and you'll see a completely different story. Steady energy, flat glucose curves, and mental clarity. That's why traditional cultures eating high-carb, low-fat diets had almost no diabetes. Think of the Okinawans, thriving on a diet of mostly sweet potatoes, or rural Bolivians living on potatoes and corn. Their health wasn't a coincidence, it was the result of metabolic patterns shaped by diet. Fiber is another unsung hero. It doesn't just keep you full, it actively improves insulin signaling. When fiber ferments in your gut, it produces short-chain fatty acids that make your liver and muscles more responsive to insulin. At the same time, fiber nourishes your gut microbiome, reduces inflammation, and strengthens your immune system. That's why plant-based diets rich in whole foods have such powerful effects on metabolic health. You don't need to count every gram of carbs or cut out fruit and potatoes. Focus on lowering saturated fat and raising fiber, and your body will do the rest. And here's the exciting part. This way of eating doesn't just improve blood sugar, it helps your liver shed excess fat, stabilizes blood pressure, reduces inflammation, boosts energy, sharpens focus, and even improves sleep. It's a full body transformation, not just a number on a glucose meter. That's why so many people who adopt this lifestyle say their entire quality of life changes. Maybe you're thinking, but fruit or potatoes spike my blood sugar right away. That's normal when your cells are insulin resistant. Think of it like a clogged sink. When you turn on the faucet, water overflows. The problem isn't the water, it's the blockage. In the same way, carbs aren't the issue. It's the fat clogging your cells. Once you lower saturated fat and clear out that intracellular fat, the same foods that used to spike you will become stabilizing and predictable. Sweet potatoes will give you steady energy. Fruit will become the perfect snack. This is the transformation you'll see if you stick with it. Knowledge only matters if you act on it. Challenge yourself. Commit to 1 week of eating this way. Greens, beans, whole grains, starchy vegetables, and fruit. Cut the oils, reduce saturated fat, and focus on whole plant foods. After 7 days, check your blood sugar, notice your energy, and pay attention to how you feel. Chances are, you'll be surprised by how quickly your body responds. And once you see the difference, you'll have the motivation to keep going, turning this into a lifestyle instead of a short-term experiment. You're not alone in this journey. Thousands of people have already reversed type 2 diabetes by following these principles. This isn't magic, it's science. Your body has the ability to heal itself as long as you give it the right conditions. Food is the key, and you can start today. So here's my call to action. Don't just watch this video and move on. Try it. Share this message with someone you know who's struggling with blood sugar. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next deep dive. And if you'd like a free meal guide with recipes built exactly on these principles, drop the word guide in the comments. We'll send it your way. Remember this: clean carbs are not the enemy. Saturated fat is the real culprit. Keep your carbs high, keep your A1C low, and let your body return to the vibrant health it was meant to have.